What if I told you that the world record for the tallest coaster changed hands multiple times in the past year? Yeah, 2025 left quite a mark on the amusement park skyline. From the tallest coaster in the world, King Dakar, being torn down, to Top Thrill 2 standing but not operating for an entire year, and Superman Escape from Krypton becoming a glorified drop tower. It has been messy, to say the least. But with a new record holder on the horizon, today we are going to count down the 10 tallest coasters in the world, including the Middle Eastern marvel of engineering. And we are starting off in Japan for our number 10, Thunder Dolphin at Tokyo Dome City. This Intamin creation is quite the eye-catcher, with the lift hill taking riders to a height of 262 feet or 80 meters. What is even more crazy is that because of the location in the middle of the city, this isn't even the highest point in the area. But this mega coaster has more to offer than just height. Because of the location, it actually passes through a hole in the nearby La Croix building and soars through the Big O, the world's first centerless Ferris wheel. And you will do all this with a speed of 81 miles per hour or 130 kilometers per hour. Thunder Dolphin will truly give you a unique ride experience. It is a bit of a controversial listing, however, because the rollercoaster database, RCDB, often counts Thunder Dolphin as standing but not operating during its maintenance period. But we're counting it, for now. And it is not the only controversial coaster on this list, because next up is number 9, Orion at Kings Island. Orion may be part of one of the pettiest discussions within the rollercoaster community. This Bolliger and Melbyard, or B&M for short, rollercoaster takes riders to a height of 287 feet or 87 meters. After this, the first drop of Orion throws riders down 300 feet or 91 meters. And this is the cause of the debate. Rollercoasters of 300 feet or above are classified as gigacoasters. So while the lift hill itself doesn't reach that height, the drop makes use of the terrain to reach that threshold. With the risk of completely derailing the comments, what is your opinion? Is Orion a gigacoaster or not? Let me know and fight it out. Personally, I just want a fun coaster experience. And with such a tall drop and a 91 miles per hour or 146 kilometers per hour top speed, I'm sure it delivers. But Orion did get topped by one of the first problematic coasters of 2025. And that is our number 8, Pantherian at King's Dominion. Formerly known as Intimidator 305, this Intamin Giga coaster has had a troubled history, which carried through to 2025. This massive roller coaster brings riders up 305 feet or 93 meters before dropping them down 300 feet or 91 meters. This height is taller than the eye-catching Eiffel Tower observation deck at the park, and this height is where the trouble started. When the coaster opened up, the bank turn that follows this massive drop was too intense for riders, and people blacked out from the extremely high G-forces. This led to King's Dominion temporarily installing trims on the first drop, and eventually redesigning the first turn to reduce the forces on the riders. After this adjustment, the trims were removed, and the rollercoaster returned to its original maximum speed of 90 miles per hour or 145 kilometers per hour. It is still too intense for the general public, but for me, this is absolutely a bucket list coaster. But it's not the only trouble Pantherian had. In 2024, the park started to remove the Dale Earnhardt theming, and with that, the name Intimidator 305. The coaster would also receive a new coat of paint to fit with the new name, and this may have been the cause of problems with getting the ride operational again. Next to a broken lift motor that needed a custom part, during testing, the wheels of the train suffered from excessive wear. Pantherian has opened back up in August of 2025, but even then, it was often just for parts of the day. Let's hope King's Dominion gets this beast running properly again. And for our number 7, we will take a small step up, because it is Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. This B&M Giga coaster is only 1 feet taller than Pantherian, sitting at 306 feet, or 93.3 meters high. Leviathan was the first roller coaster from B&M that exceeded the threshold of 300 feet, and as such, the first Giga coaster they have made. While this monster stands out in height, it is not for a lack of trying within the park. Leviathan is one of 18 roller coasters operating at the park, and with rides like Behemoth and Yukon Striker, I would say it's difficult to stand out in height to begin with. So the fact that Leviathan is towering even above those roller coasters is crazy. With the height, speed and airtime the coaster delivers, Leviathan is often regarded as one of the best steel coasters in the world. And I can see why. A small spoiler for next year. Up next would be the newly announced Tormenta Rampaging Run, the tallest B&M dive coaster in the world. However, it has not been built yet, and as such, hasn't been tested. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to receive an updated list next year, and many other cool videos in between. Now, on to our actual number 6, Millennium Force at Cedar Point. The first roller coaster to actually hold the record for the tallest full circuit coaster at one point. This Intamin Giga coaster opened up in the year 2000 and was the first coaster to ever exceed 300 feet. Riders are brought up to a height of 310 feet or 94 meters before plunging down 300 feet or 91 meters. The record was a bit controversial, as the now defunct Superman Escape from Krypton was standing at 415 feet or 126 meters. But this was a shuttle coaster, solely designed to shoot riders up the spike and back down. Millennium Force has been dominating the Golden Ticket Awards since opening, even though recently it has gotten the reputation of being a bit of a snooze fest. And Millennium Force hasn't been able to hold on to the record for too long, as it was first beaten overseas, and in 2003, even within the same park. But we will get to that one soon. First, we will go back to Japan for our number 5, Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spaland. The only roller coaster in this list that isn't B&M or Intamin. Steel Dragon 2000 was built by D.H. Morgan and has opened up 4 months after Millennium Force. This made Steel Dragon 2000 the second Giga coaster in the world. It is the tallest coaster in Japan to this day, and the massive structure is an eye-catcher. Riders are brought up to 318 feet or 97 meters before dropping 308 feet or 94 meters into the extremely long layout. Steel Dragon 2000 has been built in an area prone to earthquakes, so a lot more steel was used to create this roller coaster and to keep it protected. This has made it quite a big investment, but it's safe to say it paid off. This Morgan creation is a bucket list coaster for many enthusiasts and a reason to visit Nagashima Spaland. Its out and back layout with tall camelbacks is truly iconic. But it's not the tallest lift hill on a roller coaster. That honor goes to number 4, Fury 325 at Carowinds. The name already spoils it, but Fury 325 reaches a height of 325 feet or 99 meters. This is the tallest lift hill in the world, and the ride that follows is as impressive as its height. After a drop of 320 feet or 98 meters, Fury 325 uses its high speed to rush the riders through whippy transitions, and it stays relatively close to the ground for a Giga coaster. On the run back, it ends up with some excellent floater airtime moments, and with this, it's delivering an experience like no other. This may be one of B&M's best coasters, and it shows, because Fury 325 has been renowned since its opening in 2015, winning the Golden Ticket Award for 9 years in a row. And as we are entering the top 3, we are about to go on a roller coaster ride of gained and lost height records. Are you ready? Let me know by pressing the like button, and let's launch into number 3, Red Force at Ferrari Land. Red Force is one of the more gimmicky Intamin coasters that just focus on sheer speed and height. It is the only Giga coaster in Europe, standing at 367 feet or 112 meters high. Red Force uses an LSM launch to throw you over the top hat, after which you will drop back down and hit the brakes. There really isn't too much to say about these kind of coasters, except that they are an absolute adrenaline rush from start to finish, even if it's such a short and gimmicky layout. And surprisingly, Red Force held the record for the tallest roller coaster between November 2024 and May 2025. So how did that happen? Well, King Ka, which was at the time the tallest roller coaster in the world, closed down. Top Thrill 2 had a lot of issues and was standing but not operating after just 1 week of operation. And Superman Escape from Krypton was standing but not operating. Then in March, the news came out that Escape from Krypton would not reopen. So that left Red Force as the tallest operating roller coaster. Until May 2025, when our number 2 got back in action. Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point. Top Thrill 2 opened up as Top Thrill Dragster in 2003, and it was the first Intamin strata coaster. The top hat stands at an impressive 420 feet, or 130 meters. As is the case with Red Force, Top Thrill Dragster was mostly a gimmicky coaster that shot riders over the top hat. But unlike Red Force, the drop back down had the track twist 270 degrees. Afterwards, you would hit the brakes and return to the station. Sadly, a serious incident occurred in 2021, where a small metal piece dislodged from the train and struck a guest waiting in line. Cedar Point closed the ride, and in 2023 decided to reimagine it as Top Thrill 2. Zamperla took on the job, fitting in new trains and replacing the hydraulic launch system with an LSM launch, much like Red Force. However, to get the trains over the top hat, a swing launch was needed. So now riders get to experience a punchy launch backwards onto a 420 foot or 130 meter spike, facing down before hitting the final launch that would bring them over the top hat. But after a week of operation, issues were found with the new Zamperla trains, which led to a closure of a full year. Once it opened back up in May of 2025, it also retook the record of being the tallest roller coaster in the world. King Dakar took this record in 2005, but with the closure late 2024, it was once again up for grabs for Top Thrill 2. And while the launch may not be as strong as it used to be, I would say it became more of a complete experience, and it still brings a thrill. But it won't hold this record for much longer, because the next roller coaster is so insane, it will make Top Thrill 2 look small. I am, of course, talking about number 1, Falcon's flight at Six Flags Qiddiya. This isn't just a record breaker, it's a record shatterer. If a park had any aspirations to claim one of these records, forget it. Falcon's flight has its highest point at 640 feet or 195 meters. This is insane! It is about as high as two Steel Dragon 2000s stacked on top of each other. Now, this is a bit deceiving, as it is comparing the lowest point with the highest point. But even then, Falcon's flight will have a 519 foot or 158 meter drop off the cliff. And the crazy part here is that this drop alone is not enough to bring the train over the next element, because the camelback that follows stands at 535 feet or 163 meters. To make it over the camelback, additional NSM modules are placed on the drop to bring the train to its top speed, which I will go over in another video. The camelback alone dwarfs all other coasters in this theme park, and it's not because the other coasters are small, far from it. It is just because Falcon's flight is such an insane project. People were rightfully skeptical that it would ever be built. But Intamin has proven them wrong. Once the park opens up, and this is not far off, Falcon's flight is the coaster to beat. And while the record for the tallest coaster has been passed around like a hot potato in 2025, as coasters from the Coaster Wars have been closing, Intamin may have just started the new Coaster Wars. There are strong rumors floating around for a 1000 foot or 305 meters high coaster. Will we ever see this? Only time will tell. But for now, let's take a step back and take a look at the country where the tallest coaster would have been stacked up 4 times to even get close to the height of Falcon's flight. Check out the video right here.